They thought it was dead. They thought it was buried. They thought it wouldn't come back. But this summer, they find out they were.
Pretty much spot on the money. Yes, E3 is still dead, but I'm still gonna call this time of the year E3 season because it's just easier to do that, and because I'm an angry old man who remembers the days when you had to play a game to unlock new content instead of buying it as DLC or microtransactions. You know how this works by now, so everybody hop on board the fun train.
Choo choo! Choo choo!
I promise he's not driving. Starting off once again this year with the PlayStation Showcase. Or is it a state of play? Look, Sony, if you're going to insist on going first, at least come prepared and know exactly what you're calling your show. I've expected the presentation to start off like this. The games they had on offer were kind of a mixed bag. To start off, we got Concord, a sci-fi game from Firewalk Studios that began with a cinematic sequence featuring a bunch of ragtag miscreants escaping from a bar after pulling off a heist. It was honestly quite entertaining and felt very similar to a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Then it revealed that the game itself was another hero shooter on the same wavelength as Overwatch and Apex Legends, and my interest dropped pretty quickly. I don't really have a problem with hero shooters per se, but the market is so oversaturated with them that it's very hard for any new ones to stand out. Granted that this one does have a lot of visually appealing sci-fi themed maps, and promises to have an ongoing story for its characters every time you log in, but I'm just fearful that it's not going to last too far past its release date in August. It's the same fear I share for Marvel Rivals, which was also shown off in the exact same showcase. And they're actually Marvel, so what chance does this have? On the lighter side of things, Silent Hill 2. I know I said. Arguably the most popular game in the franchise, a remake for the title has been teased for a few years now, and we finally get a new trailer for the game a few months before its October release. The visuals have been updated in a way that tries to hold on to the claustrophobic terror that the original made you feel. But the abandonment of the fixed camera angle for a style similar to that of the modern Resident Evil remakes might contrast with that. It may give it more of an action horror vibe, which might work well for RE, but doesn't suit Silent Hill if you ask me. Still, you can watch the extended feature on the Silent Hill YouTube channel and decide for yourself. Elsewhere on the PlayStation State of Showcase, we got a remaster of Until Dawn set to drop this autumn. A PC port of God of War Ragnarok is coming very soon. A couple of VR titles like Alien Rogue Incursion, which feels like a successor to the popular Isolation game, and Skydancer's Behemoth, which I wasn't going to mention, but then they showed off a grappling hook and that drew me in. And Dynasty Warriors Origins, which from an initial glance looks to feature an original story set during the Yellow Turban Rebellion. As a longtime fan of the franchise, I am overjoyed that we are going to get some more DW action. Ah, no, not you! Thanks, Lubu. Yeah, I'll be honest, there wasn't too much about the presentation that got me excited personally. It started well with the initial Concord cinematic, but it went downhill pretty soon after that. Other than the Dynasty Warriors reveal and the Infinite Nikki game with its jazzy music, there wasn't much else that piqued my interest. That is until the very end of the show when they revealed that Astrobot, PlayStation's severely underutilized mascot, was getting a brand new game. An expansion on the pre-installed PS5 tech demo, Astrobot looks like a fully realized adventure platformer, with lots of fun worlds to explore, new abilities to unlock, plenty of big bad bosses, and tons of references to many of PlayStation's smash hits throughout the years. While their show play state thing didn't really seem to show off that much, at least it ended on a pretty solid bang. Actually, that is a good point. Where is Metal Gear Solid Delta? Is it supposed to be coming out this year, yet you haven't got anything new to show us? Come on, Sony, we want to see your snake. I know what I said! Returning from last year is the Accessibility Summer Showcase, which shines a spotlight on upcoming and recently released games made by disabled developers for disabled players in mind. It is once again hosted by Laura Kate Dale on her channel Laura K Buzz, and is also available in American and British Sign Language and audio-described versions. I found its debut last year to be quite an eye-opener, and this year is no different. Elsie is a self-described retro-inspired bullet hell action platform roguelike shooter. Gee, you think you got enough genres there? Despite my snark, this is actually looking pretty good, with sharp, colourful visuals and a fun and challenging gameplay style. Of course, if you just want to focus on the fun part, you can just toggle the invincibility mode in the menu, meaning that you can enjoy the boss battles without having to worry about them being too difficult. You also have the option to change up the background, customize outlines so you can tell who's friend and foe, and adjust the timing on parry and counter-attack moves. With a game that's as full throttle as this one, it's good to know that they can cater to people who may not have the sharpest of reflexes. Fishbowl is a coming-of-age slice-of-life title, where you'll work from home, video call loved ones, and do various tasks around your house as you embark on a journey of self-rediscovery. It's a very relaxing game with no forced time limits and no fail states, so you can go at your leisure. There is a content warning for themes of grief, death, loneliness, and isolation, and the team are working hard to add more accessibility features in the future. I certainly hope that the final product comes out the way that they want, because this looks like it could be a very fascinating experience. Speaking of fascinating, this is Periphery Synthetic. Described as a non-violent Metroidvania, the appeal of this title is that it was designed to be played without any visual input. By following the audio cues alone, you'll explore a multitude of vast landscapes, collect a variety of materials, and use them to upgrade your abilities so you can explore further. I am beyond thrilled and amazed that a game like this is being catered to those with visual impairments. It could be a real defining moment in the games industry. I can already see their next big project now, Dark Souls Blind Edition. But who am I kidding? There's probably people out there who can already play it blindfolded. I love this next title for its name alone. Trash Goblin is a wholesome and cozy shopkeeping game where you uncover unique and interesting looking trinkets, spruce them up a little bit, and sell them to a wide range of quirky customers. The game has been designed to allow players to go at their own pace, with no skill gauge blocking off any of the content. The developers have also listened carefully to feedback from fans, and have added in an auto chisel mode and a function that lets you clean items without having to constantly hold down a button. Imagine something as simple as not needing to hold down a button being a key feature in your game, and a highly requested one at that. It could be wild learning about the different features that these games include just to allow many more people to enjoy them, like Slime Heroes having damage scalers for enemies and bosses, letting you decide what level of challenge you want, or Rainbow Billy the Cursed Leviathan adding an open dyslexic font which makes it easier for those with dyslexia to read it, or the folks at Fiction Factory Games including a self-voicing mode in their narrative-driven titles so that even visually impaired players can enjoy them. And the best part is, if you don't need them, the majority of these features can simply be switched off. It's the consistent connection between the players and the developers that makes these games what they are today, and is making the Accessibility Summer Showcase one of these shows that I look forward to seeing each and every year. Coming to you live from YouTube Theater in Inglewood, California, it's the Summer Game Fest Opening Showcase. Jeff Keighley once again presides as the Master of Ceremonies with his impassioned, no-nonsense take on games and the gaming industry at large, and along with his co-host, Curious Joy, is ready to deliver a wide selection of high-quality games, from the AAA titles to independent masterpieces made by just one individual. Here's just a small selection of what caught my interest. Cuff Bust is an online multiplayer game where you and a bunch of these cuddly-looking mascots have to stage a prison break. Use various tools to outwit the guards, break through the destructible environments, and work with your fellow inmates to be the first ones out, or even betray them and escape alone. Just make sure to disable the anti-aircraft guns before you do. This is the latest game to come from developer 2-Star Games, the same people behind the viral sensation Choo Choo Charles. And while this game does appear to be a little more family friendly, I'm not trusting anything coming from a company that made a game about a demonic version of Thomas the Tank Engine. Sticking with horror, Blumhouse, the studio behind such highly rated horror films like Get Out, Megan, and the film adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's, announced their intention to step into the gaming market with their new division, Blumhouse Games. Jason Blum, the co-founder of Blumhouse, arrived on stage alongside Louise Blaine, the creative lead of their new division, to explain more. Blumhouse Games is all about finding independent creators and helping them to develop creative and subversive new indie horror titles. And based on the brief sizzle reel they brought with them, they've got a lot of diverse titles in the works, from 2D to 3D, unique mechanics and art styles that harken back to the days of 90s horror games, adding to the terrifying atmosphere. While I may not be a horror fan myself, I can't help but be drawn in by the passion that these creators have for these types of games and for indie developers in general. A passion shared by Victoria Tran and Forrest Willard from Innersloth, the company behind the online multiplayer juggernaut that is Among Us. Not only were they there to talk about the upcoming animated TV series based on their mega hit title, which features an incredible cast of actors, but also to announce their newest venture, Outersloth, and indie game funds that helps provide funding to other independent developers so that they can follow their dreams and create the type of games that they want to make. This is just fantastic. What a way to show your appreciation for the success you've earned by providing others with a means to achieve their own success. I might not play Among Us and may be a little sick and tired of the endless jokes that come with it, but there's no denying that this is such a cool thing for them to do. Almost as cool as Sam Lake from Remedy Entertainment arriving on stage doing the dance from Alan Wake 2. In fact, that's exactly why he's here, to talk about the upcoming DLC for Alan Wake 2 entitled Night Springs, a collection of mini-episodic scenarios featuring characters from other games within the Remedy shared universe. And they even released the DLC 24 hours after the announcement was made. Elsewhere on the show, we had titles like LEGO Horizon Adventures, the first traditional level game to not be based on the popular film franchise, as this one ties in with the Horizon games from PlayStation. We got a release date for Sonic X Shadow Generations, including the trailer that shows off the brand new levels from Shadow's campaign. Delta Force Hawk Ops, a free-to-play first-person tactical shooter that curiously has a campaign mode that recreates events from the movie Black Hawk Down. Isn't that random? We also had new DLC for Street Fighter 6, a trailer and release date for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and a really off-the-wall game called Killer Bean, where you play as a rogue assassin who also happens to be a coffee bean. And apparently this is a franchise. They have a movie and everything. So yeah, I talked about a lot of the good things that was on this show, but I don't know, there just doesn't feel like there was anything here for me. Other than the Sonic trailer, there wasn't really anything that I could get super hyped about. The rest was mostly DLC for some games, expansions for others, and trailers that were either only cinematics or advertising sales for stuff that was already out. Thor had Ken Jeong dressed as a chicken for some reason. Actually, I bet he just turned up wearing that and no one questioned it. But yeah, for me there was nothing that really stood out and made me say, yes, I absolutely must have that. Well, there was one game. Did you really think I wouldn't mention this one? Of course I'm hyped as hell for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and not just because I'm a massive fan of this franchise. This looks legitimately good. An unbelievably cool pixel art style, classic beat-em-up gameplay, up to 5 players at once, and look at those shooting and driving sequences. This is some old school Mode 7 stuff right here. In fact, this whole game is just a loving tribute to the Super Nintendo Mega Drive era. This is absolutely my jam. Or maybe I'm just still mentally exhausted because it took me nearly a whole week to render out my Season 2 video. Please go watch it, I put so much effort into it. Okay, I really need to calm down, so let's look and check out the cozy collection of games on offer from the Wholesome Direct. I always look forward to this show in particular because you're guaranteed to see some of the most creatively inspired games out there from some of the best independent studios from all over the globe. This year's lineup includes Ete, a relaxing painting game where you'll create artistic masterpieces to sell and use the money to decorate your home. It has a pleasing watercolor art style with a world that you can literally fill with color to explore your surroundings even more. Meet with the townsfolk, complete their requests, collect more stamps for your art book, and help turn your home into the art studio of your dreams. Do you like mice and puzzles? Well, have I got a game for you. Squeak Ross Home Squeak Home is a cute little game where you solve Picross puzzles and generate furniture for these adorable little rodents. The more you solve, the more items you'll get, ranging from functional to decorative, and the more grateful your mouse friends will be when they're living in exquisite luxury. Fantastic Haven finds you in a world where magic is slowly being abandoned in favour of technology. As one of the elders, it's up to you to track down the few remaining fantasy creatures left and build a sanctuary for them whilst convincing the people of the land to live in peace and harmony with them. I had to get at least one farming sim into this video, and while Moonstone Island does carry some of the classic tropes of this genre, it offers a whole lot more. Build your home on any of the 100 islands in this procedurally generated world. Find and collect a wide host of colourful and helpful sprites. Make friends with the townsfolk and find true love. Explore dungeons and take on opponents in card-based battles to complete your training as an alchemist. For those that fancy a bit of sunshine and mystery, On Your Tail is a sleuthy, story-driven life sim set in the Italian Riviera of Borgo Marina. Follow Diana in her pursuit of the perfect summer vacation. Check out the local sights and sounds, relax with a wide range of mini-games, and get to know the inhabitants of this idyllic slice of paradise. But beware, as the further you investigate, the more you discover that this charming coastal town is not without its secrets. As usual, I have the same positives and negatives when it comes to this show. While it is a great joy to see so many unique and interesting games on display, a lot of them tend to pass by so quickly that you almost feel like you don't get enough of a chance to appreciate them. Still, I suppose that unlike any other shows, they don't stick around too long for you to get bored of them. And with those other shows, you're unlikely to find games that let you do things like build a refugee for cute little frogs, play a fun pool matching game, become a literal crab god, clear up oil spills to improve the local rivers, or even play a game simply about waiting. Yes, somebody made a game that is literally about waiting. I'm sure it'll be very popular here in England as it is our favourite pastime. Up next we have the Future Game Show Summer Showcase. Future Game Show Summer Showcase. Future Game Show... That. This year's hosts are Roger Clark, who played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and Britt Baron, the voice of Tifa in the Final Fantasy VII Remake games, and former star of the Netflix series Glow, a show that should have gotten the 4th season. How dare you cancel it, Netflix? Excuse me, that's still a bit of a sore spot. Let's just take a look at the games. First up is First Dwarf, an RPG colony survival game where you get to control a dwarf piloting a mech suit. That would probably be enough to entice most people, but wait, there's more! You'll get to explore vast island landscapes while riding a dragon, mine resources and craft new weapons and upgrades, build and fortify mighty structures and defense systems, and protect your home from foul, tainted creatures. Best of all, you can do all of this in single player or bring a friend along with you, as you seek to tame these uncharted worlds and bring glory back to your clan. In Sync is the name of a boy band from the 90s. It's also the name of a cooperative puzzle game, where you and a friend have to work together to solve a series of confusing conundrums. Communication is key, as you will always be privy to what your partner in peril is seeing. With the right amount of teamwork, a keen eye for clue hunting, and a clear understanding between the two of you, you'll have no problem figuring out these ridiculous riddles and saying bye 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 to this desert island. Okay, that's the only NSYNC joke I'm gonna make here. This I promise you. Okay, this is a really trippy one. Screenbound is a platforming game where you go exploring whilst playing a video game where you go exploring. Keep your wits about you though, because while you're moving in the game within the game, you're also moving in the world of the game where you're playing another game. By carefully managing the time you spend in both the game world and the game world, you'll uncover hidden secrets, come face to face with some colourful critters, and explore strange new worlds in this self-described 5D adventure. I could not pass up the chance to talk about this one. Duck Detective, the secret salami, puts you in the trench coat of one Eugene McQuacklin, a private eye on the trail of a sinister sausage conspiracy. Use your deductive reasoning to search for clues, fill in the blanks, and bust this case wide open. I mean, what more do you want me to say? It's a game about a duck who's a detective. It has a charming look to it, a great sense of humour, and a dedicated quack button. The only mystery here is, why isn't this on your wish list now? Elsewhere on the show we got Parcel Core, a BMX game where you deliver items to customers while performing tricks and stunts. Hell of an Office, a fast-paced platformer where you run like hell through literal hell. Judero, an action-adventure title made using stop-motion animation. Goat Simulator 3 DLC where you explore a bizarre new island and fight a capybara Thanos? Nico de Vico, The Magical World, a loving homage to 90s action platformers like Donkey Kong Country and Crash Bandicoot, and the casting of Frank Stone, a single-player horror adventure set in the world of Dead by Daylight. You know, for some strange reason, I found myself enjoying this year's showcase a lot more than I have done in previous years. Maybe there were a lot more games that I was interested in this time round, maybe I really enjoyed the banter between Britt and Roger, who did an excellent job hosting this year. I don't know, I guess it just left me in a better mood than I thought it would. I guess we'll chalk this up as a win to the Future Game Show Summer Showcase. Oh, dang it! Oh, forget it, let's just move on. Now we come to the Xbox Games Showcase, and considering how things have been going for you lately, Microsoft, you better be delivering the goods. People are starting to lose faith in you. While I won't be covering the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct that aired straight afterwards, sorry I'm just not a COD fan, they did at least give us a nice little trailer at the top of the show. Yep, that's Call of Duty alright. While there did not appear to be as many world premieres on this show as there had been previously, the message was still loud and clear. Game Pass was the big selling point once again, as many of the games on here will be available on the service from day one of their release date. I mean, you can't argue with a deal like that, even though some people still try to. Okay, what have you got for us first, Xbox? What's that? Oh, you're kidding me. Really? Okay, just give me a second. Oh, it's been a while. Yes, the Doomslayer is back again to rip and tear demons in the newest installment of the franchise, Doom: The Dark Ages. Intended as a prequel to the 2016 reboot, you'll get to control the Doomslayer in his early days as a Night Sentinel, as he fights to protect Argent Denur from the forces of Hell. And there is a lot of meat on this bone. Look at these weapons. A gun that uses skulls for ammo, a shield with a built-in chainsaw that you can throw like Captain America, good old reliable shotty, a big-ass flail. You even get to ride on the demonic dragon and pilot a freaking mech. Okay, Xbox, that is a hell of a way to start. No pun intended. What else have you got? A trailer for the new Indiana Jones game? Oh, sweet. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle brings our favourite archaeologist on another grand adventure as he battles against sinister forces in a race to uncover the secret of an ancient power connected to the titular Great Circle. Not only do we get to see some of the more intriguing first-person gameplay filled with hard-hitting combat and exciting whip action, but we also get an extended cutscene featuring Indy and partner Gina exploring a frozen battleship and getting into it with some nefarious foes. There's plenty of great one-liners, over-the-top villains, exciting action combined with fun slapstick, and Troy Baker doing a halfway decent impression of Harrison Ford as Indiana. He captures the spirit of the character at least. With something a bit new, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 brings us to a world where once a year, a paintress awakens and paints a new number onto a monolith, causing everyone of that age to fade into dust. Every year, an expedition is organised with one goal in mind: to stop the paintress before she paints again. Billed as a groundbreaking RPG with unique real-time mechanics, you'll play a far more active role in combat as you dodge, parry, and counter in real time, master attack rhythms to chain together combos, and target enemy weak points with the built-in free aim system. This is a dazzlingly gorgeous looking game that makes full use of Unreal Engine 5. Paired with a heartbreaking soundtrack and what appears to be a heavily somber story, this just might have the makings of a tragic masterpiece. Well, that kinda killed the mood a bit. Let's pick it up again with a few quick run-throughs. South of Midnight shows us some great gameplay with a battle against this ungodly abomination, and I'm digging the creative choice of frame rate made for the cutscenes. The makers of Ashen bring us Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, an action-packed Souls-like game that takes more than a few cues from God of War. Elder Scrolls Online is celebrating their 10th anniversary with their new Gold Road expansion. A brand new Fable trailer is shown, this time featuring that bloke from the Peep Show. The latest Life is Strange title, Double Exposure, with the return of original protagonist Max Caulfield. Max, you're back? Holy cow, how are you? How's Chloe doing? Oh wait, bad question, sorry. And the surprise returns keep on coming as we get a trailer for a brand new Dragon Age game, The Veil Guard, the third installment in the State of Decay series, another trailer for Avowed showing off more of its enthralling gameplay, expansions for Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, and World of Warcraft. Slightly disappointed that it's not come to consoles, but oh well, that was a long shot anyway. And they even somehow managed to snag the Metal Gear Solid Delta trailer that should have been in the PlayStation State Show thing. And it looks so good. Like they just took the old game and gave it a major graphical overhaul. Holy crap, Xbox, you're doing magnificently well here. I don't suppose you've got that perfect Dark reboot knocking around somewhere back there. Oh my god, you do! What the hell? We haven't seen this thing for years! And we get gameplay too? That shows Joanna Dark wandering around a large open city, sneaking past guards, doing parkour tricks, and engaging in some flashy shootouts? Xbox, you've gotta stop with the surprise reveals. I don't think I can take much more of this. But they didn't listen, as they had one final surprise up their sleeves, a prequel to one of their most beloved franchises, Gears of War E-Day. And my god, this is such a beautiful trailer. You have a young Marcus Phoenix battling a locust grub, a harrowing shot of a locust-infested city, Dom is alive and well again? Oops, spoilers. And all of it set to a dramatic version of Gary Jules' Mad World, calling back to the original Gears of War trailer. Okay Xbox, I think you've done enough. We forgive you. But be careful Microsoft, because we don't forget. Or forgive. I know what I said. We round things off with Nintendo Direct, late to the party as usual. And since we already know that the Switch's successor won't get a mention here, we can likely assume that the majority of games we're about to see here are more or less the final lineup for the current console. For this year, at least. But let's just get into it. And we're starting off strong with a return to a franchise we haven't seen for 9 years. The latest game in the Mario & Luigi series, Brothership, sees our two favourite plumbers off on a high seas adventure, with a bunch of new islands to explore, challenging puzzles to solve with new and exciting abilities, and its familiar trademark battle system with wild, over-the-top moves. Many would have thought that this series would have laid dormant after the closure of its original development company, Alpha Dream, so it is really heartwarming to see that their biggest franchise is still going strong to this day. In fact, it really makes you want to party. So what better way to celebrate than with the latest entry in the Mario Party series, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Wow, you don't often see a word like Jamboree nowadays. This game features 5 brand new exciting boards to discover, along with 2 classics from the past, a bunch of fun new game modes, a smorgasbord of thrilling, bemusing and frustrating minigames, and an online multiplayer mode for up to 20 players. Looks like I need to start creating more friendships so I can ruin them later with this game. Not to be outdone by Mario, Nintendo's premier RPG series is back with The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And what's this? You're actually playing as Zelda this time? Well, finally! We haven't had a game with Zelda as a main character since... ever. Hyrule is once again under attack by a mysterious threat. It's probably Ganondorf. And even Link has succumbed to it. This time it's up to the princess herself to take up the mantle of hero and save her kingdom. A new fairy friend called Tri gifts Zelda with the Tri-Rod, a magical item that allows her to create echoes, copies of items from around Hyrule that she can use to traverse difficult paths, bypass deadly dungeons, and even copy monsters to fight by her side in battle. I have been really impressed with the innovations that Zelda games have been coming up with recently, and it seems like there's no slowing down by Nintendo as they continue to come up with new and interesting gameplay styles for one of their biggest franchises. There were just so many good things to talk about with this Direct. Donkey Kong returns with an HD re-release of the smash hit Wii title that also includes additional bonus levels from the 3DS version. The Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection contains several great arcade classics with a bunch of nifty bonus features. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded presents a new way to enjoy a classic franchise and is available right now. A new Ace Attorney collection provides 2 games centered around Miles Edgeworth, including one that was never released outside of Japan. And the classic RPG Dragon Quest III gets an HD 2D remake. By the way, why did you skip right to the 3rd game? What happened to 1 and 2? Oh, there they are. Of course, Nintendo did have one last surprise up their sleeves, but I doubt it'll be anything I'm interested in. Probably another Fire Emblem game or something like that. Wait a second. No, you're not. You're joking right now. Can it be?
Metroid Prime 4 is real!
God. After so many years of waiting, we finally get some news on Metroid Prime 4. Hell, forget news, we got actual freaking gameplay! And it looks exactly like a Metroid game should. Like a direct continuation of that series. It even sounds like a Prime game should. I think I'm gonna cry. Whew, okay, technically it's still under development. But hey, this is the most we've gotten on this game in a long time. We even have a subtitle for it, Beyond. And you know what? As long as we don't have to wait too much beyond next year to get it, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm all good. Thank you, Nintendo. And with that, we come to the end of another year of not E3 goodness. Now I know I normally like to finish these videos with some kind of spiel about the importance of presentations like these, or how we should be grateful for the video games we did get as opposed to the ones we didn't, but my mind is just too blown away right now. So, stay in school, don't do drugs, may the power protect you. Okay, bye!